Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the lab. This is their part number 451-4. This is a Yale number 4 master pin is what it is. What you're looking at here is a bag of 100 in a poly bag, and this is a number 4 master. Lab manufactures original pins for different manufacturers. Corbin Russwin, Yale, Schlage, Dexter, Weiser, small format, Best, Falcon, Arrow, etc. And they manufacture these pins to the manufacturer's original specifications, naturally. And this happens to be a number 4 master pin. Lab offers for Yale, for conventional Yale, bottom pins, master pins, and driver or top pins. In the bottom pins, there are 10 sizes because Yale's a 2-step system, 0 through 9. That's also indicated here when they say 019 step. More about that in a moment. The second pin type would be a driver pin. There are 3 sizes of driver pins, graduated sizes based on your plug total in the chamber. Then, of course, there are master pins. This is a 451, and that means master pin. The -4 is a 4 master, which means it's .076 thick. That's because the increment, or the step, is .019. 019 times 4 is 076. If we put a caliper on that, which we can, I've got one removed from the packaging, and I'd like to do that. It's large enough, I think, for me to get a caliper around it, whereas that number 2 master is way too small. Check this out. 076 is what I said, right? My caliper that reads to 1/1000th of an inch is not accurate enough to tell me what tolerance this is. That is exceptional precision over manufacturing. That's .076. It's also, of course, has the proper crowning according to what Yale's specifications would call for. Now that 019 step, think of it as the increment, meaning the difference between a 5 and a 4 master pin is .019 if you measured them. The difference between a 0 and a 1 bottom pin is .019. Steps or increments that are below .023 would be 2-step systems, and those that would be above .023 are generally single-step systems. 023 happens to be the magic number, according to the industry, about what is the boundary between 2-step and 1-step systems. For instance, Kwikset, if you're familiar with it, I think it's 1 through 6, but I think they have a 6.5 cut or something like that. Well, that's a 1-step system because I believe that increment's about 026. Don't quote me, it's something like that. But Schlage, Yale, pre-System 70, and Corbin, Russwin, that's all 2-step because that increment is too small. But System 70 and Corbin, Russwin is single-step. They went from 2-step to single-step in, you guessed it, 1970, which is why it's called System 70. So a lot of information about pins there. Let's switch to the screen view and put that back in the bag, and let's take a look at the supporting documentation. Here is the item that we are looking at. Lab pack of 100, number 4. Let's take a look at the images that we have. Package on the front, package on the back, a bag of 100. That's what it looks like. That's a very pixelated image, a blurry image, but it's a very small thing to photograph with a smartphone. Flattened off area, certain profile. Again, Yale specifications. The one dimension I didn't mention is its .115 diameter. Let's take a look here at the link below this video to the manufacturer's page. That will allow us to look at not only all of the lab products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Okay. That full product catalog will allow us to look at the lab original pins on pages 8 and 9. So let's scroll down to 8 and 9. Here is page 8. Original manufacturer's pins. On these 2 pages, what you'll find is simply pins made for different lock manufacturers to their original specifications. Schlage, Kwikset, Dorma, Weiser, Corbin Russwin. This is all small format over here. Arrow, master padlocks. Here's our Yale. The only thing that's not listed here is the part number. This is a 451. That means Yale and master pin. The Yale bottom pin is a 251, and then you just add as a suffix the size that you need. I don't know what the part number is for the driver, but I would guess 351. It would be nice if they put that there. However, if you ordered lab, original, Yale, master, and then size, you would be able to expect that you're going to get the proper material. 0.115 diameter. On page 9, it continues. Sargent, Baldwin, Dexter. Every lock manufacturer's pins are slightly different. You can, and many locksmiths do, get away with using a lab universal kit because they work. The .003 pin, as you can see here, it simply works. Is it the best way to go? No, because every manufacturer's dimensional requirements on a pin are different. Is this composite enough to work satisfactorily? It sure is. There are times when you are not at liberty to use a kit like the 003 or the 005. The only difference is the increment. And then, of course, the crowning on the top of the pin is a little different as well. Actually, there is a document that talks about that, anatomy of a cylinder, and they do show us what the 003 and the 005 look like. Okay. And that was just on the manufacturer's page right here. So you can certainly use their universal kit very successfully. There are times when you can't. If you're trying to do, not that you would be, but you might be trying to do Corbin Russwin master ring, you're not going to have every pin size that you need to successfully do that. And there are times when you're just going to have the manufacturer's original equipment. I can tell you, after having pinned thousands of locks or tens of thousands of locks realistically, that there is no fit like hand in glove compared to using a genuine manufacturer's kit. Having said that, lab kits are exceptional. They're going to work for your generic kind of Kwikset Schlage residential locks. It's going to be superb for doing that. The reason people will order the universal kit is, well, I have customers walking in with Dexter, with Weiser, with Schlage, with Kwikset, with Arrow. I'm at 5 different kits. When I can arguably use a universal kit from lab and get exceptional results. As we get to page 10 is where the kits start. The Woody Classic is here, and I've owned one of these in the past. I just simply prefer the Wedge Pro, the Emerald Wedge I would call it, although I think this is not green. Anyway, the point is that it's a 3/1000th of an inch increment. It has every size that I generally need when it comes to typical residential caliber or commercial caliber non-high security locks. You obviously get into the world of Medico, the rotating disc high security cylinder by Yale. You get into Kiso, you get into Primus, Abloy, Asa. You're not going to have the pins at all for pinning that material. You have to have the original kit. But garden variety material, this is going to work superbly for. One downside that a locksmith would argue, at least the literature I've read, is the color coding is a disadvantage because to the trained eye you might be able to easily read what sizes those are. If I know it's Schlage and I know it's green, there's a chance I might understand what that pin is because there are only so many of them that are green that you would use in a Schlage system. Okay. So, having said that, the rest of the pin kits are here. As you scroll through, you will get into pin kits for other manufacturers' systems, namely Corbin Russwin. There's going to be small format, Schlage, Kwikset. They probably have one for Sargent here somewhere. Yeah, there's a Sargent kit. Then they have these mini Durex kits. Before we get to that, actually, This is a small format kit with a wood case, very handy. It will allow you to successfully do probably up to 15 cylinders before you don't have enough parts, namely springs, inside of there. So if you're going to do a large job with a BWI 108 or a BWB 108 for best, or a BWF 108 for Falcon because the springs are different, you might want to immediately order more slide covers, more springs, whatever the job calls for. You would need to generate your bidding list, and then your KBA, of course, your bidding list, and then your pinning chart for knowing what pins you'll need. This page with the mini Durex I was about to say is full of very small kits that are meant for manufacturer-specific applications. This would get you enough material to do a small job, maybe a 3-flat sort of size. Arrow, Master, Sergeant, Dexter, you get the concept. Blacksmithing tools come after this. Picks and tension rods. Cylinder cap removal tool if you've got a threaded cap with a spring-biased pin. Plug followers in different diameters because there are different effective plug diameters when it comes to cylinder construction naturally. Other locksmithing tools are here as well. Pinning trays are here. Mats. These mats are nice because they allow you to work more organized. This rubber mat is nice because if a pin or spring jumps on you a little bit, it doesn't have as much tendency to bounce all over your shop as much. But this will allow you to stay very organized, especially when you are decoding a cylinder. You want to put them into a logical sequence. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. In conclusion, a very high quality product from Lab. There is lots of reasons to buy Lab equipment in the sense that it does work and it's faithful to the manufacturer's original specifications. It ought to be less expensive as well. It ought to be more available. But again, there are times when you need to just, not that you can see them, but underneath here, you know, I've got my Medico kit, my Corbin Russwin kit, my small format kit. I have a Schlage wafer kit in there as well, which, you know, I would have to just study on how to recombinate a Schlage wafer lock. And other manufacturer-specific kits. I think I have a Sargent kit in there as well. If you have any questions on the Yale 451-4, number 4 Master Pin, or any other Lab product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.